So what is this about? Are the banks, and also, by the way, I got this chart right here in case you're wondering how Deutsche Bank looks versus Bitcoin, inverse direction, right? This is what's happening right now. If you measure all the banks, the whole banking sector against Bitcoin, they're in inverse relationships right now. They're like this. All right, what I want to talk about is this Binance FUD. People love to spread FUD about Binance, and I still don't see why. Like, people want to see Binance fail or the largest exchange on earth by far fail, because I don't know. I don't really get it. People do not understand how big Binance is, and if they do fail, it'll be equivalent of the Federal Reserve's falling. It would be utterly disastrous. So again, people are rooting for Binance to go under. You guys all need to go away. But anyways, Binance does have a little problem this morning. Something with their matching engine, something that allows, all the trades to happen. There's some kind of bug. So they are working on it. They halted trading. They halted withdrawals. Okay? And now, if you look at everything, CZ's on top of it, really making sure people know what's going on. They had an all-hands-on meeting. Now their first engine is back online, but they have another engine that they're working on. And you could see estimate for everything to come back up is about 60 minutes. So they are working and they are communicating. That is the bottom line. So it's not like they're in trouble. It's not like they're shutting down. It's not like they're doing a rug pull like a lot of people like to spread. It's none of those things. They have a bug and they are working on it and they are staying on top of it. So there you go. There you go. I just don't understand the FUD around Binance. I just don't. I don't think the people that are spreading FUD about Binance really understand the consequences. If that happened, it'll be worse than Tether going belly up. Other good news, Nasdaq is looking to launch their own custody service. Fidelity recently made their crypto exchange public, right? And Fidelity is into many, many other things, but Nasdaq wants to join in too. All these big boys, these big institutions, they want to jump in. They don't want to miss out. Okay, so adoption, awareness, usability, these things are all still growing by leaps and bounds right now from some of the biggest names out there. Think about that. And El Salvador, President Bukele, wants to make El Salvador even more friendly towards Bitcoin and innovation. Basically, they want to waive taxes now for Bitcoin innovation. So they're really trying to push the envelope when it comes to being Bitcoin friendly. And they are about to launch their Bitcoin volcano bonds in the near future too. So they're definitely pushing the envelope, and other countries are studying what they're doing. And California, interesting enough, according to Bank of America, California is leading the way, and they may soon adopt tokenization, blockchain, starting with vehicle titles. Think about that. Think about it. The way titles work is very archaic, right? When you pay off a car, you got to wait for a title to come in, right? And then if you're transferring to someone, it's a very archaic way. You got to sign it, they sign it, you go to the DMV, right? And it transfers. Well, think about if you could just transfer a token, okay? It gets transferred to you and then you transfer to someone, that's it, right? If you own the token, you own that vehicle. That would cut down the paperwork, the manpower by 100-fold, right? And not only that, maybe you could do it with leases. You could do it with financing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with it. It's still very early. No one is really thinking about it, but could be happening in the near future. I mean, the same thing with deeds. I mean, you could do this with anything, really. I mean, the use case for tokenization and fractional ownership, I mean, there's just so much to it. But going back to Bitcoin directly, you know what? The miners are also ramping up. I've shown charts where Bitcoin mining is now very profitable, and the more profitable it becomes, usually the better it is for Bitcoin. We have seen a huge correlation with that. But right now, take a look. The hash rate is at an all-time high. Bitcoin is the only crypto where the price trails the hash rate, not vice versa. If you look at anything else that's still proof of work, for example, Litecoin or Doge or anything else like Cadena and others, usually what happens is the hash rate follows the price. If the price goes down, hash rate goes down. Price goes up, hash rate goes up. But when it comes to Bitcoin, regardless of the price going up or down, the hash rate just keeps going upwards. I mean, that's how it works, because Bitcoin miners know this is not something you want to give up on, right? This is future wealth. What you're getting now, even if you're at break even, is going to make you a substantial amount of money in the future. This is the one thing that you want to stock up more on now than later, because it's cheaper to do it now. The hash rate going up means the difficulty is going up, which means the amount needed to generate a Bitcoin or define a Bitcoin within a block is getting more and more costly. So you want to do what you can to get as much now rather than later, because you're going to get a lot less later, right? And the same thing with DCA. You want to buy when things are cheap before it gets too expensive. In the future, when you're trying to buy Bitcoin at $1 million versus $28,000, there's a big difference. All right, so in the future, you're going to get a fractional piece or a few sats versus a whole coin. Same concept. That's why Bitcoin mining, the miners continue to just mine and mine and mine and mine. They are not selling any, and they continue to up their hash power. But ultimately, this is good. That means the network is more secure. That is why Bitcoin's network has not been hacked for 10 plus years and has 100% uptime for 10 plus years. It's the most secure and most resilient and reliable network that we have on the planet due to these miners. So think about that. This is according to WD Gann. Not sure who he is, probably someone famous. 50% retrace movements can happen in half the time. So, okay. So if you look at this, obviously we were at 69,000. We fell down to 15,000. Now the recovery back up could take half the time it took to come down, right? Well, if that's the case, well, by June or July, we're back up to $40,000. And there's a lot of things supporting this. On-chain metrics, fundamentals, banking fears, macro conditions. There's a lot of things that can drive this and make it true. Great things.